Hello and welcome back to the Sidescape Gaming Podcast, episode 77. I'm your host, Jake Burke, and joined, as always, by my right-hand man, the dude who's just got my back, James St. Charles. How you doing?
Got your back. Doing good. How about you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited. We're playing each other in fantasy football this week.
You know, it's come back full circle.
It has.
This time I got to win.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
That first week was so bad for me.
Ain't gonna happen. And joining us, he's always there. He's our rotating third guest. He's the guy that fills the seat when we need a butt. Ted Libby.
It's me.
Hey, buddy. How you doing? You ready for this?
I feel like I'm falling apart. I've been reading about NFTs for the past 4 days.
Okay.
And I'm just over it already.
I just learned about what they are.
Yeah, I'm done with it.
You're too late. That's what I'll say.
But you know you're not late for, James?
Oh no, I'm not trying to get in on it.
Oh, okay.
I just am scared with the future.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's a whole market trend about.
Ted, you know behind me that art right there? I'm making that an NFT since it's yours.
Oh, okay.
I own it now.
Some of the profit.
No. I own it.
No, it's just his.
That's what an NFT is.
Yeah, tell that to the Douglas Adams estate.
But enough about Douglas Adams, because this is the 77th episode of the Sidescape Gaming Podcast, where every Monday morning a new episode goes live on youtube.com, sometimes Spotify and SoundCloud. We're pretty bad about getting on there, but we're going to get better. Because once a week we Discord over 500 miles to talk about a gaming-related topic and what games we are playing. We're doing a kind of a different little show today. We're going to have a nice little hearty, meaty chunk in the beginning, and then the last half of the show is going to be our Inscryption Spoilercast, because we've all been playing it, we've all beaten it, and we've all been gushing about it for the past 4 shows. So now we're ready to really crack open those eggshells and dive right in. I'm excited for this show. I'm really excited.
Sacrifice some squirrels and dive in.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I'm so excited. But before we start any of that, Ted, we're going to dive back into the Sidescape mailbag with a few questions from foreign user. Are you ready for these? Okay, these are gaming-related questions. He's got 2 gaming-related questions and 1 non-gaming-related question. Ted, you've already read these, James. You're fully surprised. This could be anything.
I read them.
Okay, good.
I did read them.
Okay.
So you cheated.
I cheated. Yes, exactly. Yeah. I cheated.
You read the questions beforehand.
What is a genre, or what is a game that you really liked in a genre that you usually don't like?
A game genre.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what game in a genre?
For a while.
What game in a genre do I like, but I hate the genre?
Yeah, usually you don't like the genre.
StarCraft.
Oh, wow. RTS.
Love StarCraft, but
I feel personally attacked.
I like you guys would always play at high school, and I just God, I hate StarCraft. But I love the story and the lore and what it's about. I just suck at playing it. It was so awful playing sometimes.
It is. I would agree. StarCraft is one of those games.
It is anxiety on crack.
We're talking about StarCraft 2?
2. But I mean both as well. StarCraft 1 is fine. I just never played StarCraft 1. But
when did StarCraft 2 come out?
2011.
Okay, yeah, I was in college.
Also, watching it's probably one of the first landmark esports ever. This just StarCraft in general, and it was amazing to watch. It was one of the best things to be hyped about it. And we would be at LANFest and they'd put on a tournament, and you'd have it on the big screen, and everyone would just be hyped watching it. And that was always fun. Early days of esports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember those days.
But not a fan of RTS. I could just not. Yeah.
So you're not going to play Age of Empires 4?
I've never played an Age of Empires.
That's wild to me. That's crazy.
Nope, never.
We'll talk about it later in the show.
We're going to talk about it. Ted, do you have an answer for this question? I'm curious what you would say.
I was thinking about genres I don't like.
Yeah.
And the answer comes back most of them, but no. So do you guys remember Baba Is You?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The puzzle game. So I'm not a big fan of puzzle games.
Mm-hmm.
I played Portal, and then I that jazzed me up to purchase a couple of other puzzle games, and they have never jived with me.
Yeah.
I just hit a wall, usually a logical wall of I can't solve this one thing, and so I am stuck. I cannot progress.
I'm with you there for puzzles, for puzzle 6. When puzzles are part of a game, it's just in tune with game, like Zelda or the game Inscryption. Mm-hmm. If there's puzzles in a game, but it's not the core fundamental of the game, cool. Yeah. If you're just playing a puzzle game, God, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, and so I don't like puzzle.
Some people
games,
like it though,
but,
The Room.
Baba Is You broke that for me just because of how mind bendy it was, and how you just had to break down logic to its most basic elements. And that game's really fun.
It gets wildly hard too.
I did Did not finish it.
No.
Did not even come close. Don't even get me wrong. But that is a great game.
What about you, Jake?
I was trying to think of a game that like kind of started a love of a genre, and I was kind of back to Skyrim, which is ironic that like we're coming up to the 20th or the 10th anniversary.
And yeah,
the 10th,
today.
which is gnarly. But I didn't like RPGs at all when I was a kid, or like all through high school. Like Mass Effect was the only game that I liked that like had RPG elements.
I was gonna say there are so many subgenres of RPGs.
Yeah, and primarily just, I mean, for me it was quest-based RPGs. I hated having a quest log. I would get lost in like side quests. I remember playing Fallout 3 before Skyrim and like really not liking it because I would just get like lost in it. And everybody in my college dorm room played, like all 7 guys that I lived with played Skyrim. We had like TV set up everywhere just playing Skyrim. And I just remember like understanding how to play an RPG, like finally of like, I gotta like just pursue this quest line all the way through. Then I'm satisfied. Like I can't just go to a quest, go to a quest, go to a quest. So that like built my love of now, like I really enjoy a lot of Western role-playing games. So I think that like Skyrim back then started that love of that genre if I didn't really like it. So I think that's kind of my best answer to this. Or Mario Kart, because I don't really like racing games. Sorry, Gunnar. But Mario Kart, I fucking love Mario Kart. That's a great racing game. So yeah, but it's different. Okay, next question. What is a genre that you used to like or dislike, and what made you change your mind or go the other way?
I did not read the like portion. I thought it was a genre you disliked and now you like.
It's both. You can
It's
do
both.
either or.
I know.
Or.
That's
Jake,
that's
I'm gonna take off yours. I did not like RPGs like growing up. I thought if you played like Oblivion, you were a nerd. You know, like if you played Skyrim, it was just like, oh god, I'm gonna just be on COD all day. You know.
Yeah.
But like as I got older, and then really like, I didn't play. You know, everyone knows I didn't play Skyrim. I could probably go back. You know, it's fine. But I played Witcher 3, and that game just destroyed. Like, after that, I played every single RPG basically.
Yeah.
Went back, played Fallout 4, like played all. Like it was just opened my world to how good an RPG game is. And
open world, you say?
Yes, basically.
You've still never played Skyrim, correct?
I have beaten one person. I don't even know who, for my sister, who can.
Okay, but like you never started a game of Skyrim and like.
I've not started a game. I know how it starts because of the meme, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all.
That's. So
I have
funny.
not I've not played.
Wow, that's crazy to me. I just can't imagine that.
It just when it came out, you know, I was on the COD grind.
Yeah, I used to really love like RTS sim games and kind of like repetitive, like jump into a match kind of games. And as I've gotten older, those have become less appealing to me because of time.
Oh, you mean MOBAs?
MOBAs, yeah.
Multiplayer online battle arenas?
Exactly. I've never played.
That's how it went for me. I liked MOBAs. Now I hate MOBAs.
It's just a time thing, really. It's like it's not how I want to use my time.
Yeah. You want to waste an hour and then like lose?
Same with sports games. If I play a sports game, it's bad. Like I get like way too into the sports. I love it too much, so I have to like physically not play sports games. So that's like a genre I just have to like distance myself from because of mental stability. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm with you.
Hear that?
Get really
Madden causes mental instability. You heard it here first.
I've told you about my 14-year franchise or whatever in that one Madden 08 or whatever. It's not good. It's not good.
I had a friend in high school who did the same thing.
Yeah.
He only owned Madden 2009, kept it for the same 4 years in high school, didn't buy the new edition, and just kept playing the same season for decades.
Yep. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Oh yeah.
Ted, is there?
I used to not like roguelikes. And now I like roguelikes a whole bunch.
Yeah.
But I think that's because roguelikes have changed. When the roguelikes that I remember disliking came out, it was essentially just, we're going to randomize the playfield for you. If you can win is kind of up to the numbers. Good luck out there. You know what I mean? Like, and now we're getting roguelikes that are like actively helping you progress as you play the game, like Hades and Inscryption, and so I don't know if the genre has changed or if I have changed, but I like roguelikes now.
The genre has definitely changed.
Yeah.
But
they've improved upon it. Yeah.
Going back the other way, I would say I used to love racing games. Love racing games, but now we are at a point where video games are just too good. Racing games are too simulatory, which is great for some people. But I'm with you, Jake. I like that Mario Kart. Just give me like,
Arcade.
what is it, rubber banding.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm in last place, I want to jump to first place at the end because that's exhilarating. And too many racing games that I've played in recent years is like, oh, I made one mistake and now I am a second behind the pack for the rest of it, and there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah. And I like actual motorsport, and there's an understanding of like, it's not about who wins in first, it's about a much bigger sport going on. But in terms of me with a controller playing a game, I want to get first at the last second by a hair, you know? And as we've moved away from arcade and into simulation, that's left me behind.
Yeah. I have a question. Would you play like a Forza Mario Kart? Like Forza level graphics, Forza level cars and everything, but Mario Kart items?
Hell yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I'm into, well, I'm probably the only person who really likes the Sonic racing games. Team Sonic Supercharged Racing All-Stars Extreme.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I think that's the name of the game.
It's close.
Yeah. But that's because it is just ridiculous. Like, you turn into a boat at some point and it's Hydro Thunder, and then you turn into a plane. Like, I'm in for the stupid aspects of this.
GTA had some of those types of races.
Yeah.
Like, or you would like transform your car into
Mario Kart does that now.
Yeah, just give me the goofy stuff. Give me rubber banding. Give me items.
Yeah. I think that's why GTA like works really well. Like why some people play, because the car, like you can like win any race because they're just custom. Yeah, but like actual like Gran Turismo coming out, I have no interest.
We're gonna talk a lot about car games next week.
Yeah, I appreciate
with the car
it, but I don't want to play it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm the same way. I appreciate like what Forza is, and I played 2 days of it, and then that's all I ever needed to play. Okay, foreign user gave us a little comment. So he said that he used to like story-driven, text-heavy, grindy, turn-based RPGs. Jesus. He still very much respects them, but he just doesn't have the time to play them anymore. He only starts them. I appreciate that.
I'm into that. Yeah.
Yep.
And then they're still making them.
They are.
Yeah, like a Dragon is like a 90-hour game.
Yep, I started that game and played like 20 hours of it. And
I think Jake and I probably stopped at the same point where we played like 20 hours and we got past a certain point. We're like, you know what?
I got it. Good. I felt like I got my fill, and I was like, this game did what it needed to do. Thank you.
But 20 hours and you're done. Ooh, what a great game.
Oof. One day I won't ever play it. All right, now here's our non-gaming related question, and then we'll dive into kind of some other stuff. Okay, this is a blind date, but with a catch, okay? You have to pre-order each other a hot dog, and you don't know what the other is picking. How do you order? Okay, so what we're going to do is, Ted, you're going to order a hot dog for James.
Wait, I was going to say, we don't know the other person though, right? Like that's the whole point of a blind date.
Is that what he's saying? Okay.
You got to go. You got to go.
Okay. So yeah,
I thought it was blind pick.
So it's a blind date. It's a new person. We never met him. Yeah. How do you order a hot dog for someone else?
Can I ask a question?
Maybe.
Toppings.
That's what this is.
Okay. Yeah. Does the other person know that I have ordered them their hot dog? Will they judge me based on this order? They won't know
it's you. Let's just say they won't know it's you.
They won't know it's me? Chili dog.
You show up.
Chili dog. Shit. Just get disgusting with it right off the bat and see how they react.
Okay, can I ask you a question about a chili dog?
Sure.
What video game character's favorite food is a chili dog?
It's Sonic. Okay. And he's a favorite movie franchise character, please.
Sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
Right. Jim Carrey's co-star.
Jim Carrey's co-star. Chili dog loving Sonic the Hedgehog.
That movie's garbage, by the way.
That movie's fantastic.
I hated it.
I love it. I can't wait for it.
Is there a technicality? You're saying hot dog, but can it be inside something? Can I give them a corn dog?
No. It's a hot dog.
Damn it.
Come on.
A corn dog is a different food.
I think you just go
plain.
Nothing on it. Oh, mustard.
Plain dry hot dog?
Like a hot dog with mustard. That's it. If they don't like that and they say they want ketchup, you know what? It was never gonna work.
So like a ball game dog, you know.
Yeah,
I would go similar. I'd say ketchup, mustard, relish. Boom.
Ketchup?
That's fine. But no ketchup. If it's just ketchup, no. But if it's like with a bunch of stuff, fine.
So his other question, foreign user did ask, does ketchup belong on a worst dog? And I took it off because clearly it does. It does.
The answer is no. Ketchup does not belong on a hot dog.
It does not.
Our worst arguments are about food on this podcast, and it's bullshit. Ketchup belongs everywhere.
So would you just have ketchup on a hot dog?
Absolutely.
Absolutely not. That's
fucking hell.
Abomination.
Yep, I agree with Ted.
Yeah. You know what else is red, Jake?
What?
Communists.
Blood.
You have the equivalent of a communist flag behind you.
That's a British flag. That's different.
Yeah, that's basically.
That's a nautical flag. Whoa.
Whoa! Shots fired.
Brexit
Yeah,
discussion.
it's like
Spoiler alert.
if you don't know what someone likes on their dog, it's like chili dog or just plain.
Yeah, mustard, ketchup, relish. Boom. You're
Yeah,
good.
I would say just put a ton of things on it, and then you'll figure out a whole bunch about that person.
You put a bunch of things and they're like, oh, sorry, I actually can't have relish. You know, this isn't gonna work out, Jake.
And then I would be like, fine, I don't want to date a woman that doesn't like relish.
Fuck you.
But you would learn that. You would learn that they don't like relish.
True.
Yeah,
And then I would eat that hot dog.
Like, why are you such an asshole? Why didn't you just give me a plain dog and then I can put whatever I want on it?
Well, they wouldn't know it was you. That's whew. If they knew it was me, it would not be a chili dog. It would probably be something moderate, like just a plain, like a.
Hot dogs are hard because someone could just not want a hot dog, and you're like, oh, well, I'll eat it then.
I guess that's true. There are a lot of stipulations in this question. Thank you, foreign users, so much for writing in questions. Remember, if you want to be part of the show, you can always email us at thesideescape@gmail.com.
You guys ever have the bacon wrap hot dogs?
Yeah,
they're usually sold like outside late at night.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
oh, yeah, the ones
setting.
on them are made on like a sheet pan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Those are pretty good.
I saw one of those in San Jose when Gunnar and I were waiting 4 hours in line for TwitchCon.
Yeah, they're very delicious.
It's a long time to wait for TwitchCon.
It was a nightmare.
Okay, let's dive into the show because I got a quick news update, and then James, we're going to talk about the Steam Deck as well. But this is just a fun news story. This comes out from Xbox's own Phil Spencer's Twitter account.
Oh,
Phil.
Good old Phil. We've invested for years in Xbox. So many people can play. In Xbox, so many people can play. With 4.5 million players so far across PC, cloud, and console, Forza Horizon 5 shows that promise coming to life. Largest launch day for Xbox Game Studios game. Peak concurrent is 3 times Forza Horizon 4's high. Thank you, players, and congratulations to Playground Games. I just thought that was cool. That their strategy is fucking.
They made a pretty car game and people are playing it.
Sorry. No, they made a platform and now they have a lot of people on it. Let's go.
And you'll download a card.
Yeah. Also, $4.5 million. We're like, oh, a new release is just $15 this month.
Yeah, but it's great. That's awesome for them that they're able to get that many people playing and in the ecosystem. We are going to talk a ton about Forza Horizon 5 next week with Gunnar, which I'm very excited about. I already saw him playing it at like 8 a.m. on a Tuesday, so I was pretty proud of him.
I'll need to dip into it just so I can have some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I was going to mess around with it this weekend too, just to kind of...
Is it co-op? Like, could we both do something in it?
Ooh.
Or is it story single?
We might be able to. Maybe.
No, I bet it's very multiplayer integrated.
Yeah. Let's figure out Saturday.
I'm going to be a stick in the mud
and
and just play a Need for Speed game that's 12 years old and then just complain the whole podcast. Yeah.
Back in my day.
What else is new?
Yep.
Okay. Before we get to our Inscryption Spoilercast at the end of the show, we are going to talk about now what games we've been playing and what we think about what's going on. Oh, I guess we could also talk about the Steam Deck. Steam Deck's been delayed 2 months.
That's it.
Are we surprised?
So hold on. Does that mean that like if you were in that Q1?
If you were in December Q, you're getting it February. That's what they said.
So everything's been pushed back.
James, you were a January.
I was in a
wave.
I was a January, so
now you're.
It's still Q2 for me.
Which is 2 months later.
What is it? Whatever. Q1 2022. Whatever. Yeah, it's not Q2, okay. But Q1 2022, and some people were December.
So you're Q1 plus 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, which means
you'll get it.
You'll get it next year, maybe.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, I can get it earlier. Like if they're delaying 2 months for the people up front.
Yeah.
That they're just having issues getting
my
stuff
hot
to
take
their
is like it doesn't fucking work. It's just straight up like games just aren't working on this thing, and they're like, we gotta fix it. Calling it here, calling it now. I'm just saying.
I don't think that's what it is. I think it's the fact that there's 77 ships on the port of Long Beach and Los Angeles just parked. I read a whole article about it today in Supply Chain Research. Anyways.
God damn it.
Ted,
that's a different podcast we do.
Yeah, that's the Supply Chain Gaming Podcast.
Listen, they need more ports.
Side Escape Supply Chain Podcast. Ted, I want to talk to you about Age of Empires 4.
Okay.
The 4th game in the Age of Empires franchise. I want to ask one question, and then you're going to really run away with it. How many videos have you watched about medieval buildings, weapons, and troops?
A lot, and it's fantastic.
Okay.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That's what half this game is.
History channel level.
Yes.
Oh my.
Do you remember the trebuchet thing?
Yeah, I remember that. I thought that was just like, hey, this is our game.
No,
okay, yes, I'm gonna run away with it now. Age of Empires 4 came out after What 2007 is when Age of Empires 3 came out.
Didn't really know there was a third one.
Yeah. Yes. So a new one came out, and in a world where RTS games don't come out anymore, it's wild. I have gone on this podcast as saying StarCraft 2 was the greatest RTS game of all time, and that's why they stopped making RTS games. And then this game comes out. I'm not gonna lie, I had pretty low expectations just because I didn't know where this game fit in the world. Because we don't really, if you want to play a competitive top-down kind of strategy-ish game, there's MOBAs. There's so many other options for people to do. RTS games have kind of fallen out of sway. I can report this game is fantastic.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Firsthand, you can report it.
Yes, I meant to play it yesterday for like an hour or so, little first impressions. I played it all day. I texted Jake the morning of the podcast saying I was going to do a write-up, and then I just chose to play more of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So show of hands, who has played Age of Empires games before? You have.
And statistically, two.
Okay.
Not two Age of Empires games, just Age of Empires 2 and Age of Kings. And I played Age of Mythology.
That's two. Technically two. Yep.
James.
Age of Empires or Age of Mythology is a great game.
It is a great game.
Yeah. And James, you have not.
No.
Okay.
I know what it is. I've seen competitive Age of Empires.
Yep.
I have no idea what the fuck's going on.
Yep. Same.
Same.
Yeah.
I don't know how anyone is winning.
Yeah. So I kind of went into this thinking that it was just going to, I don't know, rehash old ideas and kind of feel like a game out of time. That's kind of where I went into this. The gameplay itself has been really smartly tweaked for modern audiences. It is, and they're still working on, there's a lot of like technical issues, but it is very much, they've kind of honed down the precision aspect of it. So it's much faster. It feels much more succinct. The big change is to get to different ages. And maybe I should just explain this whole game. Age of Empires is a strategy game in which you play a medieval-ish, I think this is mostly medieval-themed town. You start with a town center and villagers. Then you go collect resources, farming the land, chopping down trees, mining for stone, stuff like that, mining for gold. And you build up an economy. With that economy, then build units. You send those units out to attack and harass the other team, which is doing the exact same thing around you. It is very much like StarCraft or like Command and Conquer, except Age of Empires, Ensemble Studios, their thing back in the day was they were very much about this economy. A big part of these games is building workers to mine resources to produce the war machine, and to disrupt the opponent's war machine as they're trying to do the same thing. And so a lot of really cool choices have been made to encourage you to play the game like that, to be quick, to be efficient, to build out this giant economy, and then to harass and attack the other team. And so they make really cool choices, like now you can make specific buildings for different races, for different factions. But what I really want to talk about is the single player, which I always breezed over as a child. When was the last strategy campaign you played that wasn't StarCraft 2?
The World of Warcraft 3 one, where the one dude became the bad dude.
Okay, yeah.
Warcraft 3
that's a great, that's a good call. So in this game, so what they've done for the single player of this game, the campaign, is they have taken like real world footage of actual medieval buildings and the locations that these, and they have basically done like a little BBC documentary explaining real world events. And then from there, you kind of play out what happened in the real world.
That's only in the campaign.
Yes, this is the campaign.
Okay.
And so there are 4 campaigns right now. I'm really hoping they add more. The first one is, I believe it's about the Britons defeating the Saxons and going to France and attacking and going to England and then coming back, and kind of how Britain and France became a thing. But there are other ones. There's one about the Mongols. There's one about how kind of Russia.
What about the Vikings?
No Vikings yet.
That's Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah. But the way it works is you will watch like what feels like a BBC level documentary, kind of explaining this. It's really cool as a sucker for those kinds of.
It looked so fucking stupid with how they presented it.
But then just works because you're like, okay, yeah, sure, yeah, King Henry the First, absolutely, yeah, whatever. And then you get to play.
Is it the same? Is it the same narrator as it was in that like one trailer? That one.
There are different ones.
Okay.
Sometimes it's a girl, sometimes it's a guy.
I like that it's in the campaign only. I thought for a while it was gonna be like in multiplayer, it'd be like, yo, Ted, can you stop moving your units? I'm gonna watch this thing about stone walls.
No, so yeah, it's and then you play out a very well done campaign, kind of reenacting what it was supposed to be, whether it's a battle or a siege or whatever. And then at the end, you unlock like side videos, which are kind of those like off topic. Like I watched a video. The very first one is there is a real archaeological project in France where they are building a castle using the tools of the time, and so they just went there with a drone and filmed it. And I was just like, just watching my little BBC documentaries, having a great time. It's really cool.
That's cool.
It's really cool that they've got rid of any like idea of like we're gonna have a historical fiction campaign. You're gonna have a main character, and we're just like, fuck it, dude. Like, let's just talk about historical events the way you wanted to, and have a good time with it.
That's cool.
So that's really cool. They have something known as the Art of War, which is transitioning over to that like competitive multiplayer where it's almost like time trials. You can get a gold, a silver, or bronze medal. Yeah, Sun Tzu's. But like with that, they have a whole bunch of different objectives that teach you competitive multiplayer strategy games.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
And that is hardcore. To get the gold medal, you have to be good at this stuff, and it's really fun. They have a whole video kind of explaining like this is your early economy. You should be doing this and that and whatever. And then you get to do it kind of as they say and rank your times. It's a really good transition from like, oh, knights and kings and little videos about castles, and then this transition period of like, okay, now this is actually how you play
now you gotta play
strategy game. And then on top of that, they have a really cool multiplayer, which has like daily quests. There are different modes, so it's not just
is it 1v1?
So there is standard 1v1 ranked, as you might imagine. But they also have silly game modes. They have like King of the Hill, where there's a middle and you have to capture it, and just other kind of fun, goofy modes. And they have every intention of adding mods.
Oh yeah,
and like custom game modes. Which is kind of all you need for a great long-lasting strategy game.
Yeah.
I came back from this wholly impressed. I was not ready for this to be good at all. The trailers, the videos we all saw made it look
not do it justice.
It just looked outdated. And in a world where we're
silly.
Yeah, we are so pressed for our time and our money.
Yeah.
Like giving me yesterday's game is just not going to cut it. And so I'm happy to say that this is both refreshing and just a good time.
That's awesome. And it's on Game Pass.
The same price you pay for Forza gets you Age of Empires 4. Yeah. It's nuts.
It's crazy.
It's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, I'm actually intrigued.
Very least. Yeah, I think if you played Age of Empires as a kid and are a little nerd for history, or like, those BBC documentaries, if your YouTube feed every once in a while shows up with history stuff and you're like, all right, definitely give this game a try just for the fun of it, because it'll entertain you for sure.
James just wants to laugh at both of us right now. That's why you see him holding back his laugh.
Whatever. He plays Magic the Gathering. He has no leg to stand on.
I get my history from legitimate sources like anime.
Dear.
Anime.
Like anime.
Like Yu Yu Hakusho.
Vinland Saga. That's the best Viking anime ever.
Oh dear, here we go.
All right, speaking of non-anime related content, I want to just briefly talk about Unpacking. I don't know if any of you guys know what this is at all.
Yeah, from your trip?
Yeah, I went to New York and I just unpacked it. I got it. It was cool. No, there's a game called Unpacking. It's on Game Pass. It's by Witchbeam Studios. And it is a very simplistic puzzle game, I guess, but it's really not a puzzle game. It is literally you are just unpacking boxes into rooms of houses, and it sounds dreadfully boring, but there's like kind of like a nice calm like nature to this game of like, oh, I want to put the books on this bookshelf and the printer here, and I don't know. It's very hard to explain that this game is actually engaging, but what it's doing while you're unpacking is kind of telling a story through context clues. And which I think is fascinating, you are a woman that goes to college, and the first thing you do is like you unpack into your college dorm room, and then you pack into your boyfriend's place, and then you like unpack back.
This game has a lifelong narrative to it, which I can just guess goes into some heart.
I was gonna say, places. I know by the end of this game, I'm gonna be packing this person's stuff into boxes like as they die.
Yeah.
But just like really cool context clues of like you move back into your family's house, and I completed this whole level trying to figure out what I needed to do, and there was a picture of you and the boyfriend, and you had to put it like in a drawer, and like so it's like stuff like that where like, oh, they broke up, okay, and it's like then trying to put like the context clues together. So it's an interesting puzzler. It's not anything that's going to change your life or anything, but if you want like a nice relaxing game. And what is really cool about this game is I was reading there are 42,000 audio files in this game for stuff being picked up and put down on different surfaces.
Wow.
So there is a different sound effect for a cup being put down on wood, porcelain, steel. Like it's just insane. The audio is like fascinating in this game. So that's all I had to say. It's just an interesting kind of game.
What's it on?
Game Pass.
Game Pass. I believe it's on PC, Xbox.
Oh shit.
I think it's on both, but I'm for sure it's on PC. I'm playing it on PC. So Unpacking, yeah. It's just
I just Googled it, and the very first headline says Unpacking has a GameCube in it, and young players are confused.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. That's that game?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you get there's a GameCube, and I guess people are putting it in the kitchen because they think it's a kitchen appliance.
No.
It's got a handle. You can take it anywhere.
Yeah, God damn it.
They pitched that. That was like a big thing for the GameCube back in the day.
That sounds great. I saw that, and I didn't know that was from that game. Wow.
In particular, James, I think you should try it out.
I'll try it out.
Just knowing your taste, you'd find
from what you said, it reminded me of a part in If on a Winter's Night for Travelers. That one game I talked about like way back when. Where you had to piece together like certain things. I love that.
Yeah, and so it's just done in very subtle ways.
Nice.
I've played the first 7 levels or whatever it is, and it's engaging.
Cool.
It's very cute.
Unpacking.
James, do you have anything to talk about before we go to Inscryption?
No, it'll be talked about with Inscryption.
Okay.
At least what I've been playing.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, anything else?
Yeah.
Forever hold your peace.
Sorry, I just like ruining Jake's moment.
Yeah, you do it a lot.
Jake, this is actually specifically for you. I want to talk about this really briefly.
Okay.
Just to kind of waste your time and mine.
Please.
I've been playing the Wolverine for the Game Boy Advance.
I saw you wrote that. I wasn't going to talk about this.
It's a terrible game. It was for the game. It was a movie tie-in Game Boy Advance game. Like say no more.
Is it for Wolverine Origins?
No, it's for X-Men 2.
Oh, United. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's
the
old.
Best X-Men.
The best X-Men movie. That part.
Yeah,
we can all agree on.
Okay.
Well, does Logan count as an X-Men movie?
No, that is the best X-Men movie.
Okay. But that's not really X-Men. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I've been playing this game. It's really bad, but I was really curious. I have 2 questions for you.
Just
the
for
first
me
one,
or James?
Yeah, you, the group.
Okay.
The first one's not really a question. So in this game, a big part of the game is like claws out, you kill people, claws in, you like knock people out, and so there's this like bad attempt at a stealth game.
Oh, okay.
Do you guys think the upcoming PlayStation game is going to be like a keep it together, like you're Wolverine, but you can't claw out, and you have to like be stealthy? You think it's just
Did you see the trailer?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, like is it supposed to be like a try not to let things go wrong, because when things go wrong,
they even
everyone
said
in the bar is gonna
this
die.
is gonna be a hardcore story.
Yeah.
This is gonna be you're gonna feel. I feel like
the head writer for the Wolverine game is the guy that wrote Spec Ops: The Line.
So we're gonna get a heartfelt one. Spec Ops: The Line has one of the best stories ever in terms of.
It's so good.
I'm. This has me so curious. I think there's gonna be a maybe not non-violence, but a non-lethal aspect to Wolverine. Other question: what X-Men villains do you think will be in the upcoming PlayStation game? Because Sabretooth is everywhere in this game. It's a real pain in the ass.
So I don't think we'll get Sabretooth, just like we didn't get like Venom or Green Goblin and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But I think you'll get some weird villains. I'm actually really fascinated by this game because Wolverine's villains are kind of ass.
Yeah. Well, are they allowed to get X-Men villains, or is it just going to be like
I don't know.
Wolverine villains?
To me, they should really dig deep in the comic books. Yeah. Like get away from anything MCU or not MCU, but like know in terms of what has been done in the movies. Please do not recycle the fucking enemies there.
I just hope it's not Sabretooth.
Something different. And not Sabretooth. Yeah, fuck Sabretooth.
I'd take a Magneto. I'm just saying.
And Magneto's fine.
There's no way
Magneto's
Magneto's in Wolverine.
Magneto beats Wolverine. He's made out of metal. It's a plot beat that
if
works.
it's Magneto, but
it works.
Magneto's fine.
I will not stand for this,
but not as the main.
No, Magneto's one of the best villains in comics, but he's not going to be in the fucking Wolverine game.
He shouldn't be in the Wolverine game.
You don't know. Maybe he'll play a small part.
I was thinking it's fine if he plays a small part, like like influences or something like that. Yeah. That's fine.
I'm fascinated by that Wolverine game. We're not going to see it for many years. 2024.
The enemy is himself.
Ooh.
That's what I'm saying. There's got to be like a whole like hold back aspect to it. You know, like don't just fly out and kill people. Yeah.
Ted, do you think at any point during the Wolverine game, he fights the Blob and the Blob gets mad because he says, "You got it, Bub," and then he goes, "Did you call me Blob?" This is from Wolverine Origins. It's a bad movie.
I haven't seen Wolverine Origins. You laid that joke on two people.
Wolverine Origins.
No,
it's awful.
I was so excited for X-Men 3. I begged my dad to take me. We went on a Friday night, and I was so upset. And I was young.
As a child,
I was so upset by X-Men 3 that I like left the theater and after the movie, and I was like, "Dad, that sucked."
X-Men 3 had the Juggernaut.
Yeah, it did have the Juggernaut.
Where he says the famous line.
Yeah, from the fucking.
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
Yep. Yes, it does have that one line. That's the best one. That is a terrible movie. And
that made the movie, and you know what? Don't have to watch anything else.
I was so upset watching that movie.
I remember that movie. Yep.
God.
Okay, now we're starting this. We're starting our Inscryption Spoilercast.
Oh,
jeez. If you haven't, I like it. If you haven't played Inscryption, get out.
Play the music.
Play it. And then...
Yeah, definitely leave now.
In 3, 2, 1, we can now spoil Inscryption. Holy fuck, this game is fucking incredible.
Right? Fuck, I've been talking about it for so long and I had to hold in so many things for it. Yep. It's one of the fucking greatest things ever created. It is a culmination of so many great stuff. Like, let's just start from the beginning. The beginning of the game. We've already explained how it starts.
If you're here, we've explained the beginning many times. The beginning.
But I feel like it is the core of the game. You probably spend the most time in the beginning because you understand like what is this game trying to do. You're spending time with this person who is like role playing with you, basically.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's played this hopefully now.
I hope so. Yeah. And the card game is simple, and I always say it equates to Yu-Gi-Oh for me. It also has other elements.
Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a dual disc at the end of this game.
So Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah.
No, okay.
You both texted me that. I was just you know what sucks? So, I always we praise this game like so much, but when I think back on it, you know what sucks about this game? So many good parts of the game you spend very little on. Even though the beginning is very good, but that dual disc part, like man, I would have loved like if we had like a full open sort of battle arena where I can like fight in a dual disc arena.
We'll get there because I want to talk about that.
Let's go through the stages, but
the game starts out as the roguelike. Dramatically fantastic. James, I would have been happy if I just beat that cabin portion, and then that was the end of the game.
I thought that was going to be the end.
Exactly. That is a game in itself, right?
Yeah.
But I do have one criticism for that. It to me is not a roguelike because
it's not. It's its own thing.
If I want to go back and play that, which you can, I can't because it's all predictable. I know exactly what matters. They needed to make it more random. I feel.
Yeah.
I don't think they did because that wasn't the point of this game. This game is not.
It was. If they wanted it to be a roguelike, they needed to make it more random. Right. But it's not. You're right. This game is an experience. It is a. You are experiencing this.
It's a one and done. You're not going to go back.
Magnum opus game.
Yeah.
Dude.
That beginning roguelike portion was so good. Like I said, I was.
The mechanics are fucking
great. This game goes places, but I was thinking about that beginning portion a lot. That's what really drew me in. You get to the final boss. You beat the final boss, which is the moon.
Yes.
Did you guys have trouble with the final boss at all?
No.
I only lost.
Oh, well, go ahead. Yeah.
I only lost to him the first time, and then the second time I got back to him, I steamrolled him. And the card that I was using, I texted James this I started naming all my friends' death cards because I named Jake the first 3 of them, and I was getting confused. So I named one James, and James was the best fucking card there's ever been. He was a 3/3, no cost, could go all 3 directions, hit all 3 directions.
Mantis God, 3.
And every time he died, he came back into my hand.
Oh my god.
So I would just play it, and he'd finally be like, "Oh, that's a really good card," or like, "That seems like an unfair card."
I love the mechanics that you can make these cards and like make creatures that were just so broken. And then the most OP thing for the moon is either the death touch.
Yep,
or,
I was gonna say that's how.
Or the stink. The stink is just hilarious.
Yeah.
Did you guys play the stink at all for the moon?
No.
Oh, you should have. There's a really funny line with it. It basically it makes the moon cost 0, so it can't do anything. And he's like, and then the guy's like, "What? How is this stink affecting the moon? Moon can't smell. Why is this?" So he's like angry that he's getting beat. It's hilarious.
No, I was talking to James. I beat this game because I got a run, and it was one of those things where you like know it's your run. I got a squirrel the same time I got the squirrel head for the totem.
Oh, the squirrel head is.
I think that.
Which one? Which
I got the draw a card whenever this is played.
Oh god, that's broken.
So whenever I played a squirrel, I just got to pick a card from my deck.
Yeah, so and you could pick any card.
So that was one of those things.
All my squirrels could be sacrificed for 3, so I just started.
Oh, that is the most broken one. It's like the 3 blood.
Yeah, so I would just get whatever I needed for whatever situation. So by the end, I was like, play a squirrel, death touch, moon's dead, end. And I was like, game's got nothing on me. And then you beat it.
Yeah.
And then you successfully defeat the guy, the mushroomy man. I don't know. Did you guys get stuck at the new game part? Because I was there for like 25 minutes.
That to me, like I played it like way early.
Yeah.
When I got to that part, there was nothing on the internet about it. I had to dig so far deep because I was like, "What the fuck happened? What happened?"
You just quit. And start a new game.
Yeah, I was like, you just quit, and you wouldn't see if I hit new game, I'll be like, I'm not starting a new game. I just played all those hours.
Yeah.
So like I had to be like, oh.
I think that was kind of spoiled for me from you guys, and not in a bad way, but from the first time.
I try to warn some people about it, just so you don't waste your time. It doesn't matter.
Ted said something the first time because we were all on Discord. He was playing, or we were playing Warzone, and Ted was like, "Oh, I can't start a new game," and you said something along those lines like, "Yeah, that's supposed to happen." And I was like, "Okay, so."
I've warned a couple people who bought it because it was just like I wasted so much time. Like just it wasn't intuitive to me.
In all my greatness, I used the knife on myself, the last boss, so I got to go to that room with half vision. And so I was just like, I can't see. I'm walking around. Am I missing something? I spent 25 minutes like finding the right path, and I eventually was just like, I looked it up and
so much time just going like boop 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 boop, like just trying to find.
So that was the one thing Ted told me was the knife. He's like, when you get the knife, use the knife. Yeah. So I played this game maybe during work at one point. Okay, I'm not gonna deny it.
I'm telling your dad right now.
Yeah, please. And it was at 3:30 in the afternoon, and I texted Ted. I just cut my own eye out, and then Ted texted me back. My customer on the phone just asked, "Why did I start laughing?"
Yeah, because I like spat laugh. I was like. And they were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
Okay. So then you beat you beat Swamp Man.
You beat Swamp Man, and you click that new game button over at the menu.
And then the game starts.
And then the game opens up into a whole different game.
Well, you get the first like found footage stuff.
Oh, sorry. You get the found footage.
That's before
What do you think?
Game,
what do you
right?
think about the found footage? So this is not the. So at first I thought it was when I first played it, I thought it was the creator. I was like, oh my god, this is great, it's the creator. No, it's a paid actor.
That's okay.
But the found footage, we haven't talked about it at all. I don't think.
I think it adds a lot to like what the fuck is happening, and I think that's this game's strongest point is like it constantly you're just like, wait, what the fuck am I doing? And that just keeps you going the whole time, and like I kind of couldn't stop. I just wanted to know what was going to happen.
There are multiple like WTF storylines going on.
I love this type of found footage. Like even for scary movies, like I know like Jake, you don't like series, but found footage usually sucks. Like because Paranormal Activity just blew it out of the water and it made like a bunch of money, but it wasn't even that good. But there's really good found footage stuff. Like As Above, So Below is one of my favorites, and it's on Netflix if you really want to watch it. It's a good found footage. But this game, like when it starts out, he's just opening packs, and it was like cool pack company stream, and he's like, oh, I got Inscryption packs, and then he opens up, he's like, this one has coordinates, and it's like, oh, it's close. Oh, let me go and see it. He goes out in the forest and digs it up, and it's like the game.
It's the floppy disk.
On the floppy disk, and he plays it, and he's like, he's just like, what the fuck's going on?
Well, because there's a moment when you're fighting Swamp Man, and you hear him go, the lucky
he remarks.
Luke, he goes, what the fuck or something? And like out of nowhere, and that's the first time you've heard someone else talking to you like that. I remember like sending chills up my spine of like, what the fuck is happening in
you're
this game?
you're that guy playing the game.
Yeah.
Like you're playing, and then when you beat it, he's like, okay, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And he like tries to contact the company.
I took too long at the first part. That's why I tell people to, when you get the knife, use the knife, because I saved the knife for like 3 runs.
Oh.
And so at one point, I think on my winning run, like I was given the option of 3 rare cards. And before I could pick the little thing, like his voice popped up and he's like, gotta pick Manus God.
Yeah, he's like, gotta go.
Yeah, gotta go with Manus God.
Oh, I never heard
All
that.
right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked the found footage. Well, the beginning anyway, this like haunted video game of like he finds a floppy disk in the woods. That was pristine.
I love it.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna get attacked out there, and Jake was probably like so worried. He's like, "Hey, is there any jump scares?"
I texted
like,
James. I gotta know if there's jump scares because I fucking hate jump scares.
Yeah, this game does not jump scare you, which is great.
I think the ominous, mysterious part of it is just great. And talking about the first part of the game before we like exit it is the best music like possible in the entire. It is every single fight, every single boss, the angler, like it is perfect for those fights. I just love
it's like
I was so immersed.
It fits in. I keep thinking about the motif of like you're in a small cabin with a fire, but it's not a warm fire. It's like a ghostly shadows fire, and the music to accompany that of like what is it? It's like a steel string guitar, twanging every once in a while,
like the humming one,
with some humming. It's very like I don't know. It's like I kind of said it before, but it's got this like almost westerny North American.
Almost,
Also, there's a sadness to it.
Well, and every time you get up from that table to do something, I every time kept looking at the fucking guy.
Yeah,
like,
the guy
what are you gonna
do?
Yeah. Well, you're gonna do something, and then he never did anything. I was like, that makes me even fucking more nervous.
Yeah.
It is so.
But no, you open up into this other game, which is great because my one complaint before that moment was like, this is cool, but like I kind of feel like the mechanics are a little bit simple. Like like this is a card game.
You get the game opens up basically. It's like, okay, actually, there's not just this guy in the cabin. There's a bunch of these guys.
There's 3 other styles of cards.
It becomes an entirely different fucking game.
It just opens up, and I'm like, oh, I love that. Like that was incredible.
Of like, creepy cabin North America guy is 1/4 of all of the cards technically in this game.
Yeah, and you get to pick a deck. You get to pick a starter deck, and we all pick the same deck. And I try to tell you not to pick.
What do we all pick?
The mage deck.
Yeah.
I didn't pick the mage deck.
Oh, you didn't pick the mage. What'd you pick?
No. Did I pick? I picked the undead deck because I was like, well, I know how the bones
the
work.
best deck.
I quit out and I eventually just went and picked the robot deck.
Yeah.
Which I like because then it actually helped me learn. I was really prepared for the next part.
I rotated to the bones deck because that mage deck, it was just not good at the start.
Yeah.
But anyways, so you go along and you can fight.
The game.
You can fight the same
transitions into what, like almost like a overworld.
The
RPG?
game, it transitions to another game for the Game Boy Advance, Yu-Gi-Oh! The Eternal Duelist Soul. It is almost there's another Yu-Gi-Oh! Game, but that's where you can walk around and fight. But it's almost the exact game in terms of how the board is laid out and what happens when you beat anyone. When you beat anyone, you can get a pack.
Yeah.
And you get a pack of cards, and then you can like add to your deck. That's exactly what happens in this Yu-Gi-Oh! Eternal Duelist Soul game, which is I've been playing on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, it struck an itch for
it was nostalgic,
old card games that were kind of a thing, but no one ever really cared. Everyone just had them because
collecting, deck building. Oh,
I was not ready to have like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Game for the Game Boy Advance itch scratched, but then I was like, oh, this is a lot like the Sacred Cards.
And what do you call that view? Because you went from like a first-person type view of the board, but then now you're going to like a 2D layout of the exact same card game you've just been playing.
Yeah,
but with different mechanics. It like opens up to different cards and different mechanics.
Yeah, it becomes like almost like a top-down. Like you described it perfectly. It goes from being like a modernish,
like an old school Yu-Gi-Oh game,
like
the old.
Yeah, I would say it kind of just goes just into a card game, like it like an older style like. You could be playing solitaire on a 2D screen. It kind of fits the same motif.
With a, overworld-esque where you travel to each of the bosses. And
this was my least favorite part of the game, and I'm glad that it was quick. But I didn't think it was bad or anything. But I was like, I'm glad that I'm only here for like 40 minutes.
It's definitely not the strong. Again, I think the first part of the game is the strongest part of the game. But it has the most I think stuff put into it.
Mm-hmm.
This was pretty good, but not.
it was
I
enough
didn't
for me
want
to
to spend enough
realize
time
there were
in
more
it.
mechanics to this game, and that's all I cared about.
Yeah.
I was just really excited to find out what the mage stuff did. And that was a really cool thing that you don't really get in modern card games, that sense of wonder, because every single card game with the internet is just, this is exactly how everything works, and this is what you need to do to win. Yeah. There's never like, I've never seen this card before. What'll it do?
I
had no idea how the mage deck worked, and it screwed me.
I still barely get it.
Yeah, so that was really cool. Of like opening a pack was not like, oh, what are the chances I'll get the rare? It was like, I have no idea what's coming up.
I love the bone deck.
That was a strange...
deck was so fun to play.
Yeah.
God, by the end, I had a hybrid like bone robot deck, and that was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think what is cool about so who did you pick to like try to usurp? Because I picked the robot guy just instinctively, and that ended up being...
I picked the robot. I did pick the robot too as well. I think everybody I know who's gotten to this point in the game has picked the robot guy, because they drop enough hints about like, hey, this guy's kind of a dick. Like he's trying to overthrow us. So I was like, all right, well, fuck that guy.
Yeah,
then.
That's what I thought. Because apparently there must be a moment though if you choose somebody else, because he does a thing where he's like, aha, it is me, and he goes, oh, you were trying to take me down anyways. Okay, cool. Like, but like, so he definitely would come up and be like, instead of this guy, I'm gonna take you down.
Yeah. So yeah, how do you guys think about the robot portion of this? The StarCraft.
Yeah, so the robot portion basically kind of goes back to the beginning, but a little bit different. Like it didn't feel the same. Like did it not feel? Yeah, it felt weird. Like I was going into it, I was like scared kind of thing. Like it was just like, okay, I'm in this virtual path. I gotta like go here. What's gonna happen?
Yeah, it felt.
And you're forced into a deck. You're forced into the robot deck. But
yeah, and I made a lot of mistakes with that robot deck, so I had a kind of a tough time at this portion.
I had so in the first part of the game, there was almost no negatives. Like you were always benefiting from any of the paths.
Yep.
But in this part of the game, there was a lot of negatives. Like you had to like get a card and be like, okay, once that card dies, it's gone forever.
It's dead. Yeah. It's gone forever.
And it's forever. Like, what?
Yeah.
Oh my god. And of course, I was like, I made it my best card.
Yeah,
it's like,
I did that too. Yeah, I was like, oh.
I did it with the sniper that could choose where to shoot and then lost.
Yeah, the sniper is great. Yeah. But yeah, so I had it on like a 6/3, like one that could shoot like in both directions. And but you know what I did love about this part, and it's one of my favorite parts. I love the bounty hunters. They were fucking hilarious. They would come in and be like, all right, I'm gonna take you down, and then you took them down. They're like, next time, I guess. Next time, I'll see you.
See you, man.
Yeah.
It's like, see ya, I'll get you next time.
I really like that. I thought that was really clever.
It was
fun. I enjoyed. I don't know if I like. It was not my favorite, but I enjoyed the robot part. Like the running around and kind of like the, almost felt like a '90s computer game of like boop boop.
Yeah.
Boop, boop. And there were respawns instead of a roguelike. I had a really tough time with a lot of the actual battles, the card battles in that robot portion. I had a lot of fun with it. And the idea
they were difficult. I hated the bomb. The bomb mechanic is, man, that was rough. Yeah, very brutal. It was almost a little overpowered because they could target three things.
And I don't know. The robot portion of this is the most like Hearthstone, right? Where it's like you get a mana each level. And it was
like Dr. Seven. Remember Dr. Seven with the boom bots?
Yeah.
Boom bots.
And so like I was trying to think of this really in a Hearthstone mindset, because I used to play a lot of that, of like you need a lot of weak cards and then a couple game-ending big cards.
Yeah.
But all of the smaller cards in this portion of the game kind of sucked.
They sucked.
They were a lot of 0/2s.
But you get the upgrade stuff, which I thought was really cool for your...
Yeah,
the upgrades for your crystals was great, because I would do the one where it's like if someone like would come in front of it, they get attacked with the one. That was great. The pinging one is amazing.
Yeah.
I never did that one. I like did a solely like functional, like I'm getting killed by a lot of flying right now. I need to get the anti-fly.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you guys think about the bosses at this part? So
that was great.
Say it again. Say it again. You just cut out.
It's part of the game.
Was James frozen?
Oh no, he's gone. The game took him.
I'm looking at my connection. It is like going like this. Boop 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 boop. Okay, sorry. I think I'm good.
Yeah, you're back.
But anyways, the boss part of this game, like with their different mechanics. What do you guys think of that?
I like to love them.
This part of the game where each boss had like their own little like thing where it would
Uber
be
bots.
you could like the Uber bots, with the one where you can some with the file one where like you had to like pick files.
I have a special place in my heart for games that access the rest of your computer and then bring that into the game. There are not a lot of them, but when they do it, I'm so in of like pick a file from your computer, and then you do. It's like pick the largest one for the most damage. Which is funny because I have a whole bunch of movies, so I picked like... I
went straight to my games folders.
I think I picked like... I don't know, Fury.exe or something like that, and it was like this giant thing, and then the game was like, if it dies, it's deleted from your computer. And I was like,
oh, shit.
I don't know if that's true, but I don't want to find out.
It wasn't true, but it was like, someone told me like they picked like a very like
a critical
picture.
Piece.
Yeah, so what they did is they alt-tabbed and like saved that file. So.
Yeah, just in case. I can tell you that the Side Escape Gaming podcast episode saved on my computer did a lot of damage in this game.
Yeah.
I just started playing only Side Escape episodes.
Yeah, I loved that. That was a great little bit where it started taking your own files from your computer and putting them on the deck.
When I got to this point, it was like, damn, they got to really redo this whole part if they want to bring it to consoles or something like that. It's possible, but they'd have to redo.
I think you just do game saves.
Yeah. Pick your favorite game or game save, and then your game save because I don't want my game save to die.
But then and then they'd have to rework the next part, which is the other Uberbot where you fight your Steam friends.
That was so great.
I love that.
So yeah. Maddie thought that I showed Maddie that and thought it was the coolest thing that like Ted was fighting me and Gunner and like.
Yeah. I thought it was great. Yeah. I was fighting some friends. I was like, I'm beautiful.
Yeah. I think that was the one where you were like fighting the internet or something like this bot's connected to the internet.
Yeah.
I was like, uh-oh.
That was great. Yeah, it's like we're getting one from the one right now. It's like, oh, it won. You get to keep it.
Yeah.
Because they would send your creation to like fight. I don't know if that actually happened. Maybe it did.
I don't either, but I was
my friend
was a good person and I made a great card.
I made a great card and it won.
Yeah, it was called Mr. Screw You, and then they were like, "Well, I can't connect to the internet right now, so I guess you can have this card. I hope you weren't trying to troll anyone." And I was like,
nice.
I felt good about that.
I was an asshole and I got fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy is like, "Ooh, they're gonna lose it," and he made like such an insane card, and it was like, "Damn it, I want to get that card." And then it was like, "Actually, he won. You know what? You got it."
You can have it.
So I don't know if it was true or not, but that was good. And then the very last, I guess, bot, which is where it has like conditions you have to like make it, and it's like
I thought that was really clever.
Every time you do this happens. I like that.
I think that one was ultimately one of the easier ones, but I did not know that, so I spent a lot of time like strategizing. Like, okay,
to pick the worst things.
Every turn, a random character dies, or like a random creature dies, or every time everybody deals 1 damage. What can I do with my deck here?
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun to just like logically math out.
Yeah, there was just a lot of again, like these almost logic puzzles to this game, and you really
that's the thing,
have fun with it.
The structure of this card game is short and sweet enough to where you can think in terms of like 1 turn.
Yeah.
It's not about like what I do over the course of multiple turns in a game. It's like I could win this in 1 turn if I drew the right card and did the right things in the right order. I could just do it. And so thinking like just 1 turn at a time was super satisfying.
Yeah, I really like that. And I think that makes it, you can add a lot of variety onto that short gameplay of like, and what if we change the rules for this? Or what if like we did this? I think that's like really clever. And that makes this game, the feeling of like, holy crap, this is happening. How do they think of this? And then like the next thing happens and you're like, yeah, it's great. We missed part of the found footage stuff before Mr. Robot takes over.
Oh, I guess there's more found footage in the part? I can't remember.
Yeah, no, it's okay. There's just the one that creeped me out where someone was in his house.
Yeah, and he's like calling
fuck.
He was calling the company that made the game.
He's like, hey, you guys.
And they like cease and desisted him.
Yeah.
And then they started they broke into his house.
He called, I think, one of the mother of one of the workers there.
The girl that died.
And like she died. Like,
so, did you notice in the beginning of the game, the first death card you see is Casey's? And Casey is the girl that died. So,
that's Casey?
Yeah. So the first death card you see is this girl named Casey. And you can pick it up and use it. She's in, I think, like the first box or something.
She's the girl.
And she's the girl that dies.
Wow.
Yeah, and so like, I still get chills about it thinking about it. Because I remember looking at it, I was like, Casey, that's weird that there's like an already made person in this game.
Yeah.
And then they mentioned Casey. I was like, holy fuck.
You know, back to that. But Ted sent me a picture, which I thought was great, which was what I was doing.
Oh yeah, my first
which
card?
is the clues. Like you had like a post-it note like on your like monitor, and yes, and I was doing the same thing. I was like writing down any types of clues from the footage or anything like that, like that could like help me. Like
my roommate was with me for that. There's a found footage clip that like spazzes out and then spazzes in, but it's just binary. And so we or not by Morse code, something like that. So we like translated it. We're like trying to figure it out. We don't think we got it right. Carnawful code?
Nope, probably not right. That's funny. Yeah, I was trying to figure out what that was because I took a picture of it. And then you get to there's that one scene of him like laughing hysterically like with the dice, and I was like, I don't like this shit. Which I don't quite get that part.
So, and I guess this will transition us kind of to the end of the game. I didn't like is a strong word. I thought the found footage at the end was kind of weak. Because it didn't like it kind of ends in a bang, right? The woman who is like breaking into his house just shoots him while he's on the phone with a reporter. But I was hoping for much more of like kind of like that scene where he's laughing, where I was like, oh, he's the game now, or like I was hoping for more of the haunted angle, but it went for more of like this creepy corporate angle. It's fine. Of the storylines that get ended, I thought the found footage was the weakest, but that's only because the other part of the game was super strong.
So then you beat the part where the security camera turns off in Mr. Robot's house. And he's like, go check it out. Then you fall down into the fucking pit, and all three of the other
the scribes are there, and they're like, so they're like, I don't even quite remember this. They're like, this dude's he shouldn't be in charge. We don't want this to happen. So they plan a coup. They succeed in the coup, and they murder the robot guy in front of you. And then
they take off his fucking head.
And then the graveyard lady just decides to like delete the game from itself.
End everything. And they're like, oh.
Yeah, is that what happened?
Well,
and they all say goodbye to you, which I thought was like weirdly more heartwarming.
Yeah, it was actually kind of sad. So the game is deleting itself, and then
the game like you're watching on screen like files get deleted, and then as you're playing these final moments with all these characters, like the game is glitching and falling apart in a really cool way.
But then you have heart-to-hearts with every single person.
And I was so happy that everyone got, and we'll get to this, everyone got their time in like an actual 3D space. I thought the Graveyard Lady was just really fun, and I was like, oh, it's like a chessboard, it's a different little thing. Game, and then honestly, kind of what you're saying about the heartwarming, like you play the cabin guy, Leshy is his name. And then at some point you're playing the game, and at some point the scorecard goes away, and then he's like, we don't need to keep score. And I was like,
things are just fading, and it's like, oh,
he's like, oh,
I'm just like destroying you.
He's like, oh, we don't have to keep score. We're just here for the game. And I was like, we're just here for the game. Okay,
it's about that time. And I'm like, oh, this is sad.
And they all shake your hand at the end, which I thought was
really cool. They give you like a good game at the end.
The best part in this part, we talked about the dual disc with the whole Battle Stadium.
I was so not ready for that.
And
I was like, okay,
and everything.
Beautiful. Why can't they make a full game like this?
Oh, I was not at this point.
I loved it.
At this point, I had already gone on the podcast, and I was like, this game's kind of a love letter to card games, right? Because I had found the kind of the mage character is very like magic-y. He's got like there are land cards, and that was and the other characters deal with sacrificing. That's like Yu-Gi-Oh. So I was like, this is kind of a love of card games, and like the idea of Yu-Gi-Oh has just left at this point. And then you come up to the last guy, and he's like, well, I guess we might as well battle. And then you just like rise up onto a pillar, like you just chunk a duel, and then like the holograms show up and the scorecards on either side, and I was like, oh my god.
He calls it a dual disc. He just straight up goes, oh, you like your dual disc? And I just and you're like, he just said dual disc.
Like you just get your like arm thing, and you get to like play. Oh, it's so good. As someone who watched too much of that show as a kid, I love
that show. God, it was like at that point I was like, this game's amazing. Like that
was a lot of fun. That specifically I think would be the love letter.
I came off such a high to play that game. I was just like, I want more. Like, please, it's so good.
I also like at this point, like the game is deleting. Like it's glitching out, and like, which is really funny because at some point, like, the game turns into that like spectator camera that sometimes happens when you glitch out, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool.
My favorite thing was, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but the dual disc like is on a guy's arm, right?
Yeah.
And you see when it's
being held up by another
hand.
By another giant
player
arm.
hand. I thought that was so funny. Just like showing stupid game stuff.
Yeah.
But to start from that cabin and to end up at the dual disc, what a journey! What a journey! What an experience!
What a journey through collectible
Holy
card gaming.
Shit! The developer is insane.
And it was a game that just constantly surprised you.
Yeah.
It was, every time
you never knew it was going to come up.
It was a gratifying surprise.
Great.
Yeah. I can't recommend it enough.
And then it just closes.
And
then you are left sitting there being like, "Holy shit! I spent 20 hours playing that. Yeah,
literally.
Holy fuck."
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I texted this.
And then I told you guys all about it because it's like, you guys got to know this game.
Yeah, I was mentioning it like, if they wanted to make more, if they wanted to flesh out more of this game, I would be in. But I'm also really excited of like,
I hope
it's over. It's over.
I understand that this game is almost like a complete thing. If they came back and made a mode of the first part and made it kind of really random, I'd love that. But I understand that this is
I would love
complete package.
A flushed out version for all 4 characters. We got 2. Give me a little roguelike for the undead lady and the magician. That would be a lot of fun.
I had a lot of friends who really enjoyed the first part. Like, they just spent so much time. They did not want to continue.
Yeah.
And I was like, please continue.
Yeah.
Please keep going.
It just gets wild. It's absurd.
It becomes more than it really is. Like, because I was like, I saw this game first being played, and I was just, it's just, you're fighting someone in a cabin. Yeah, cool. It's a cool concept. Yeah, I'll play it, I guess. And then when I got past, I was like, that's what happens. And then it's like, you keep playing it. You play for like 8 hours straight, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm so glad you guys.
That was great. I read the credits. Daniel Mullins made the game. He had a lot of help. There was other person did VFX stuff. There was a guy who did the soundtrack. I don't remember their names, but I noticed that he credited a whole bunch of people who he bought assets from, from marketplace asset websites, where he was just like, the candle was done by so and so, and I was like, that's really unique. I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Where like a lot of these...
I think about this game so much time, and like, God, like,
it's very
for
special.
someone to have this, like, put your thought into like an actual game and have it like be what you want it to be.
Yeah.
This is that game. That's why I was like,
I
kind of want to find my review, but my review was something. Yeah, I explained it. It was like, this is this person's like magnum opus. It is like they put everything they wanted into this game, and you get to experience it. And
it's just such a love letter for games, not just video games, but just games in general. I think it just has like this great love letter quality, and it's very interesting and constantly surprising. I just Thank you for
I was like, that came out of nowhere. Like that game came out. It was on none of our radars, of course.
I know. This has convinced me. I'm gonna go back and play Pony Island at some point. Daniel Mullins.
And you were telling me that Pony, and I haven't played Pony Island.
I never played it.
Pony Island is like, it's like an arcade game, but you're playing like the devil's arcade game. And so you leave the arcade to go like talk to the devil.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting. I'll try that.
Yeah, it's got one of this, like, you're in a game, but you also leave the game to go do other things.
Okay.
I'm not sure how many units this sold, but I think in the first week he sold 100,000.
It sold very well. I was reading about it. It sold.
I'm happy about that.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Yeah.
I hope Daniel Mullins continues making great work, because this was awesome.
This was by far one of the best indie games I've ever played.
It was fantastic. We're going to talk about it more throughout this year. I know that for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for spoiling with me Inscryption. And James, thank you for the recommendation. I mean, fantastic. Seriously.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching the 77th episode of the Sidescape Gaming Podcast. My name is Jake. That's James. That's Ted. And we will see you next week.